Good evening. Never really know what I'm about to say on these things, and maybe I should have a game plan, but it's not how I roll, I don't think. I've tried to write notes, but I have no real idea. Anyway, I'm not even sure what day it is in terms of how long I've been doing this. I could work it out, but it doesn't really matter, because it's something that I would like to do permanently. So it doesn't really matter what day I'm on. I think it's like day 9, maybe, possibly day 10, but I think this is probably my 9th day. Doing really high raw, and cravings have kind of kicked in. Not sure if I mentioned this, if it was happening the other night when I was recording, just that it had been 7 days with a woohoo and a whoop-de-doo. So yeah, cravings have kicked in. I really, really wanted seaweed, so I've been having. Last night I had quite a lot of Yesterday evening I had quite a lot of little nori sheets. I think they've got a bit of oil in them. They definitely had salt in them, and I don't think I was craving too badly until I had those, and I think probably the sort of fairly large influx of salt is not that great. Has not had that great of an effect on my appetite, and I want things like crisps and chips, although logically my brain, I'm very, very aware that they wouldn't satisfy me. I know that they wouldn't satisfy me. There's just that part of me that wants to nang 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 on them. So maybe it's just the addiction still in full force, I don't know. But I had quite a lot of the salty nori. And then what did I have? Oh, I had some raw broccoli dipped in regular hummus. It's the brand Ramona's. It's pretty amazing, but it does contain oil and it does contain salt, I believe. So I'm not calling anything on off plan at the moment. I'm trying very hard not to judge anything. But also trying very hard to stay away from all junk, like no junk, because I think a few videos back I was very clear on the fact that just the slightest bit of junk and I crave so badly, and I lose all reason and dive head first into a big pile of rubbish. So the nori wasn't junk, but I think it has sort of increased my my cravings for this and that. Also, unhelpfully, my brain is focusing on the concept of weight loss. The weather has turned quite warm here, and that always makes me feel so much fatter than I am, because a big fat sweaty body is much more uncomfortable than a small thin sweaty body. Not to say that being thin inoculates you against against discomfort in the heat. It doesn't. But I've been both, and it's so much so much less unpleasant when you are not carrying around rolls of fat with you in the heat. So so there's a part of my brain going, you know, why can't I be thin now? Why can't I be thin now? And we know the answer for that. I can't be thin now because I ate rubbish. Didn't manage to stick to raw food for long enough to be thin. Anyway, please excuse my yawning and my all of that. I am extremely tired. I could not sleep to save my life last night. I just couldn't drop off to sleep. I don't know what the problem was. I I just couldn't. Maybe I had something that was too interesting on making noise in my ear. I tend to, I was going to say when I can't sleep, but I tend to most nights because my brain is very racy with everything that's going on at the moment. So I tend to listen to stuff. Whenever I wake up, I just put something on that will rattle around in the background and just distract me from the thoughts. So but last night I couldn't let go, and I got maybe 3 hours sleep, maybe kind of a little bit more, but it wasn't much more. Definitely wasn't 4 hours or beyond. So I am chronically sleep deprived today, and a little bit of a mess as a result. But managing not to binge. What did I have? I've had a smoothie, an ice cream bowl. I did snack on some crunchy edamame, which is more salt. And then I had my salad for supper, which had a cashew cheese in it and a little bit of smoked tofu. So just high raw, I just thought that those two, the cheese and the tofu, would satisfy me a bit more than just a dressing. And the alternative was some boiled potatoes that are in my store cupboard in the fridge at home. And I thought about that, but I decided to go the a sort of more protein and fatty route, thinking that it might be more satiating than the potato, excuse me, because it takes longer to digest. Anyway, this is the most rambling and yawning and really, really not great video, but it's kind of my reality, and so, you know, I thought I would just document that the cravings are high. It's a combination probably of high salt and the fact that I am so tired and stressed and thinking about weight loss, which is not helpful because it kind of puts a kind of hurry up vibe on it. Does that make sense? It kind of, you know, puts my psychology in a state of, this must happen now, it must happen soon, it must happen, when is it going to happen? And I'm in the process of adapting and adopting a high raw diet again for life, not for weight loss, not just until my random symptoms go. It's a lifestyle that I'm trying to adopt here for good. Finally, no more month and several month-long binges, please. And so, for that to happen, I need not to be sort of focusing on an end goal or a timeline or numbers on a scale or anything. I just need to be living my life while eating a raw diet. So yeah, ruminating over effects and timelines is not helpful. Anyway, I'll stop rambling now and bugger off.